Hello again. This is Mike showing you another preview of my card game. It's been a month since I started working on it. Went through a lot with it. I had to, get my own little card stocks and stop copying off of Magic the Gathering, but finally it's coming together. So let's take a look at that first. Like I said in my previous video, these are, my cards. You have units, which look something like this. Okay, this is what a unit looks like. At the top left, you have the unit's identity, if you will. At the right side, you have how many units need to be in your reinforcement zone in order to place this unit in the unit zone. And we'll get the zones later on in this video. The M represents the size. And we have down at the bottom to the right, we have the different stats, starting with S, which is strike power, how powerful the unit is. E, which is endurance, how powerful the unit's defenses are. Then we have C, which stands for counter. And if you notice that the color is the same as where it says counter over to the center of the card. And basically, most cards will have a different stat in the third and fourth slot, depending on what type of card it is and other things. And then we have another C, which represents critical. And notice the color again. Also, notice that the critical has a T and an I behind it. That also means something, but we'll come to that later on in the video too. Now to the extreme left, you see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 little symbols. That represents the toughness of the unit. How many hits it can take before you have to put it in your trash pile. Another subject we will reach later on in this video. Okay. Now, the next type of card we will see is... Okay, this is a foundation card. So foundation cards are cards that have their own little section on the mat, the gaming mat, as people will call it. And they're basically cards that you use to gain the advantage over your opponent and give you a favorable position whenever you start your battles. Okay, so this one, Flare Mount, this card gives you a shield point and an integrity point, which are very important to winning and losing in this specific card game. And it also has an additional effect that all non-red units in your opponent's reinforcement zone are sent to the trash pile if this card is moved from the shield or integrity zone. And we'll talk more about that specific thing later because that's a whole nother subject. But that's this is what the basic for foundation card looks like. Okay, next we have an item card. This is an item card. So item cards are just that, item cards, little cards that help you, power you up. Some of them power you up. Some of them give you back health. Some of them revive other units. It's different things for different items. Item card. Okay, this next one is called a ritual card. And ritual cards, basically, if you have uh, any type of situation on the battlefield, you can take advantage of it by playing a ritual card. This specific ritual card says during your battle phase, select an opponent unit from their reinforcement or unit zone as a defender. That unit is moved to the battle zone, meaning that you can, instead of your opponent choosing what they want to put in the battle zone as a defender, you get to choose what they put in the battle zone as a defender, making it more easier for you to win that battle confrontation. The next one is an equip card. This is what an equip card looks like. This one is Pyron Emblem. Equip card is self-explanatory. It can equip to one unit, and once it's equipped to that unit, it provides a boost to that unit specifically. After that, I have two more types of cards. Okay, here's one. This is known as an invocation. Invocations are specific cards for specific things or units. This one has a specific effect that, when placed, gets you a specific result. Just like an item or an equip card, you can equip this to one specific unit as long as that unit is able to produce the effect of the card, and the card will explain which type of unit is needed in order to activate its effect. Now we're going to look for the next type of card, which is a devastation card. Devastation cards are basically little skills that you can attach to a unit, just like the invocation cards, and then that unit will be able to activate their devastation as long as they are on the field. Each devastation card comes with its pros and its cons. Like, for instance, this one, you have to flip a unit in your reinforcement zone to activate its effect. But once you do, you get a plus 200 to striking power, which is the S, and a plus 20% to critical, which was the C with, I think, orange outlining. And that's, that stuff is very important when you get into the meat or the middle of battling somebody, when you want to actually do more damage than the standard damage. So that's what these devastation cards are for. You have your unit, and the unit has its own special ability, but you can bam, throw out a crescent strike and add on to the unit's already amazing abilities to do even more damage. So that's devastation cards. Okay, let's see. Here's another invocation card. So that's pretty much that. Now we're going to go back. We're going to go to CR Mat in single player mode. Okay, here's our mat. And as you can see, I had a specific idea for the mat. And this is as close as I can get to where my idea was. Even the final product of my game, its mat might look just like this, probably a little bit cleaner, more uniform, but I like this. So first, you're going to go to the middle, which is known as the battle zone. And that's where all the action in the game is going to happen. Next is the unit zone. That's where you'll be placing all your units. Notice that there are only 5 unit spots. That's very important because each unit takes up a unit spot. And as the sizes get bigger, the less unit spots you can use. For example, any unit with R on it can take up 1 spot, but any unit with M on it can take up to 2 spots. Any unit with L on it takes up to 3 spots. So, going by that logic, if I have 2 L's, I can probably only put 1 R in any one of these spots. Or no R at all, because both of the L's will be taking up all of the spots. So that's the unit zone. Next is the quick zone. The quick zone is where you'll be putting your equipment cards, your item cards, your invocation cards, your devastation cards, and your ritual cards. Depending on what type of card it is depending on whether it stay. The unit zone is not limited like the quick zone is not limited. The unit zone is limited. The quick zone is not limited like the unit zone is. You can put as many cards as you want into the quick zone. And you can just stack them on top of each other as long as you're able to keep track of what card goes where. The same for the reinforcement zone. The reinforcement zone is also not limited like the unit zone. The reinforcement zone is where all units go in order for you to summon higher units or larger units, which is the number that's on the right side of the card. So if a card has a number 1, it usually means that a card the size of a R must be in the reinforcement zone in order for you to put this card in the unit zone. Now, as sizes go up, so too does the number in its meaning. So, for instance, if you have a R card and it says 2, it usually means if you have 2 R units in your reinforcement zone, you can place this card in the unit zone. However, if you have a M and it has 2, it means that if you have 1 medium card in your reinforcement zone, or M card for short. In your reinforcement zone, you can summon that unit, or if you have two R cards in your reinforcement zone, you can summon that unit. So basically, each as you go up in scale, it matches the scale. So if I had a large card and the large card had one on it, I need one large card. If the large card have a one on it, I need one medium card. And so on and so forth. I don't know if I'm going to change that rule or not, but we'll see how it goes when we start battling and testing out, the rules. Because they haven't been battle tested. So next we have the F. The F is where the foundation cards go. All foundation cards usually stay until they're either destroyed or replaced by another foundation card. The D represents where the deck goes, obvious. The T represents the trash pile. Also, I want to go back to the reinforcement because you have to forgive me. Sometimes I think one thing and say it backwards. So let's go over reinforcement again. When you place a unit in the unit zone, you can move that unit after a phase has passed to your reinforcement zone. If the units are of the same size, you have to pay the cost the same size as the number. So if an M unit has a 2, you have to have one unit in the reinforcement zone and 2 R units in the reinforcement zone. And it adds up. So once again, just in case I didn't say it right the first time, for units of the same size except for R, you have to have the correct amount of numbers matching the number in the right side of the corner. Moving on. This is your shield and integrity zone. Now, in the game, your shield and integrity zone is what will determine if you're going to win or lose a battle. First, let's start with the shield zone. Okay, let me just put this back. Let's start with the shield zone. The shield zone is just that, a shield zone. And what does it shield? It shields your integrity. Your integrity is basically your life points, your blood, your sweat, your bones, your body. Once your integrity points are gone, that's it. You lose the game. Now, this is where I wanted to diverge from the typical game, which has a set amount of points that you need to lose in order to, I guess, lose. And I put in something that I feel like most people of a strategy mind would love. And I made it so that you get to choose how much integrity and how much shield you have in each zone. Now, you get to put 8 points to either your shield zone or your integrity zone. And you start off with a point for each, making it a total of 10 points in your shield and integrity zone. So your integrity is 1, your shield is 1, and then with the 8 points, you get to put wherever you want. So if I was a gambling man, I would put all 8 points into shield, having 9 shield and 1 integrity. Or I could do the reverse and have 1 shield with 9 integrity. So on and so forth. I can split it up. I can have 5 shield, 5 integrity. I can have 6 shield, 4 integrity. So on and so forth. Now, let's see if I can get the flow of a battle started. So first things first, we're going to slide over here to where it says deck. Okay, let me just get it right. Not used to playing on this. Okay, we're going to go to our deck. I have, as you can see, a whole bunch of decks I can pick from, but not all of them are what I considered foolproof. So I'm going to go with, for me, I'm going to go with Witches of Cal. Bam. So I'm going to load it. Okay. Oh, it's all the way up there. Okay. So let's take that and put it into the deck thing. Okay, see, that's where deck goes. And for my imaginary opponent, I am going to choose Arctic. Arctic is a pretty simple deck, so I'm going to use that for them. Okay, it's all the way up there. Move it down here to deck. Okay. Now, first, I'm going to shuffle them because I don't know how this program works. Maybe it does it automatically, maybe it doesn't. But just in case, I'm going to shuffle. I like this program that thought about shuffling. The next thing you're going to do when you're starting a battle is both players at the same time are going to take 10 cards out of their deck without looking at them. So let's start with me first. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now for my imaginary opponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, let's talk about deck limits. For this game and for right now, the deck limit is at 100. The reason why it's at 100 is pretty simple. I have no idea how long a standard game can last based on how my game operates. So the standard deck limit right now is at 100. Moving on. So you take your stack of 10. Bam. Nope. I said bam. Hold it. Now move it over to my shield and integrity zone. And like I said before, you'll get an automatic 2 points toward shield and integrity, which is automatic. You cannot put everything on shield and have no integrity. Of course, you'll lose. Without integrity, you lose. As soon as there's no cards on your integrity zone, you lose. So, I'm going to take this one. I'm going to turn it sideways. And then I'm going to place it on the shield. Bam. Okay, it's a little. Okay, bam. This is on the shield. I'm gonna take this one, turn it sideways, and I'm gonna take it, place it on my integrity. Bam. Okay, and then the rest, which is 8. I don't know if you can see that. I'm gonna move it over. 8. I get to place it wherever the heck I want. So let's place them. Another one on integrity. This one's, you're gonna go on shield. So spam shield, and you're gonna go on shield, and just place it a little bit more like that. Yeah, shield. You're gonna go on integrity. You're gonna go on integrity. Bam. And then you're gonna go on integrity. Oh, it's stacked. So stacks happen every once in a while. You just move it, unstack it. Bam, turn it again. Bam. Maybe put this one on shield so it doesn't stack. Bam. Okay. Oh, whoopsie. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to flip it over. So just put that back on the stack. You tap the stack. You shuffle it so you don't know which one is which. This is very important that you don't know what card. Okay, that one's stacked. No problem. You just move it. Tap it. Twist it. Yeah. Oh, now that one's stacked. Okay. Tap it. Okay, gotta be unstacked first. Okay. I'm just stacking all of them now. Okay. Don't worry. I got it. Yeah. You know, it takes a little time to get used to this Pacific system. I think there's how you say, place you can go on the actual app on the settings to make it so that it doesn't stack. So it doesn't stack all that well. And I'm probably not going to cover that. Probably something you could just go to settings on your own and you can see it. Okay, bam, bam. Okay. And bam. Okay, that's done. Gonna take this stack and I'm gonna do the same thing. Sorry for the inconvenience. I'm gonna see if I can do this one more quicker than I did the last one. Shield. Integrity. Yeah. Okay, nope. So much for that not happening. I'll just leave that right there. So yeah, this thing is a nightmare right now. So bam. But yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Yeah, so I'm trying to get to the point here. Bam. Because you don't want to have one integrity. Okay. Seems like I really need to find that option of not stacking. Maybe turn it on and off. On when I need it, off when I don't. Okay. Bam. Okay. Yeah, definitely need to find that option. This stacking is very, very annoying. Especially when all I'm trying to do is let me see if I can sneak one past you. Nope, could not sneak one past you. He was aware. He was aware of what was going on. Damn. Yep, they are aware of what's going on. Seems like it stacks if you're not if you're trying to go tic-tac-toe with it, if you know what I mean. So it seems like you gotta know exactly, okay, I'm gonna have this much on my shield and I'm gonna have this much on my integrity, and then you put it like that, and then you can, avoid stacking. So, okay. Now that the shield and integrity zones are both set, you can start your game. Now, this part is a little tricky because both players are able to do this part in sequence. I said sequence, but I didn't mean sequence. Both players are able to draw 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. And then both players at the same time are able to put forth units in the unit zone, as many units as they can. Okay, so before putting any units, of course, you can look at your hand and be like, oh man, this is a terrible hand. And you can go, okay, I'm going to put something back. So for me, I'm going to put this Mega Golem. Let's look at him. Mega Golem Deltaron. He's pretty cool. He's pretty powerful. I'm probably going to need him later. But for now, I'm going to put him back. So you just tap it. You turn it back over. You put it on top of your witches. You tap your witches. You shuffle. Bam. And you redraw. Bam. Okay. It's a little better. We have the Witch of the Flames. Have another Witch of the Flames. Ooh, she likes me. We have a Curse of Reflection. And we have a Curse of Hexen. Then we got an Orb of Woodland. And an Orb of Meadowline. Okay. Now for my invisible opponent, imaginary opponent, I mean, I'm just going to go bam, bam, bam. No, no, okay, bam. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Okay. Wow, 30 minutes. This is pretty long. So we're going to flip these over by double tapping them. Bam, 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 bam. Now let's look at what we got. We got Cone of Breath. Okay. For mythic beasts, we got Alpha Kane, who's a mythic beast. We got Arcanine. Yes, I know how that sounds, but hey, he's from the Arctic and he's a canine. Leave me alone. Mine make more sense than theirs. Anyway. Crystal Ball of Sight. Okay. Another Cone of Breath. And we got an Omega Canine. Now, can I summon any of these? No. So just like last time, I'm going to put some of it back. So this one, most definitely, I'm going to put back because I already got one. And this one, I'm going to put it back. And then I'm going to tap it, shuffle it, bam. And then I'm going to go 1 and 2. Now let's see what I got now. Still the same thing. So, still the same thing because I'm not able to summon. So, if I'm not able to summon something on my first turn, like I said, you could put one back. Bam. You can shuffle. And then you get something that you're able to summon. So, this might take a while. Even if it doesn't, I might just still go. Okay, we got something. Scale 9. He seems pretty cool. Okay, so I'm going to put him right here. Bam. I'm going to put this on him. Bam. So that he's powerful. Let's read what it says. Cone of Breath. Only mythic beast units can activate this ability. Double my striking power. And -2 to toughness of enemy targeting unit. If opponent has less units and battle zone, unit equipped with this card can make an additional attack. Yeah, that's pretty good. That's pretty good. I like this. Who made this? Oh yeah, I did. Yeah, I'm bad. Okay, so for me, I'm just gonna look at what I can put out. Which of the Flame Yersa? So this is what I'm gonna put out. And in this specific phase, which is basically the first phase, and both of us are putting out our units. You can, put your units out, but you can put them face down so that your opponent doesn't know, what's going on. And I can also put my second unit face down so my opponent doesn't know, what's going on. Now, can you put a card in the quick zone? I think I made a mistake with that. You cannot put a card in your quick zone during this phase. You can summon as many monsters as you want, but you can't put a card down in your quick zone. So during this phase, basically, now after you have both put your units down, and you can put them face down, or you can put them face up, depending on whether you want to surprise your opponent or you want your opponent to know that you ain't nothing to be fucked up with. I'm coming in to kill you, whatever the case may be. Now that that's over, now you decide who goes first and who goes second. You get rock, scissors, paper. You can flip a coin, whatever floats your boat. So for now, I'm going to let this person go first. Okay? So both of us have drawn 6 cards. So you can skip this phase of drawing, or you can draw if you're going first. So I'm going to choose to skip the draw phase and play a foundation card. See this foundation card? By sacrificing the shield point, summon additional units to any unit zone. Okay, so I'm going to place that in my foundation zone. So this is how foundations work. Bam. So once a foundation card is in the foundation zone, it's activated. It's good to go. As long as you follow the rules, you get to activate it. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4 shields to go, and I can summon additional stuff. Now let's look at what's in my hand. I have an Arcanine, which takes 2 units in my reinforcement zone in order to put this card in my unit zone. So I'm not going to be able to summon that. What about this one? Omega K9. It only takes 1 unit to be in my reinforcement zone. I'm not going to summon that. Because this is the first turn, I am not going to move any cards to my reinforcement zone. Not because I can't, but it would be rather stupid. But during your first phase, after your draw phase, I'm going to call most stuff phases. After your draw phase, you have your summoning phase. So during the summoning phase, you can move units from the unit zone to the reinforcement zone in order to summon units from your hand. Also, during the summoning zone, you can place your item and item card and devastation / invocation cards into your quick zone. As the zone is named quick zones cards can be played in almost any phase. So depending on the card, you could just put it in your quick zone during any other phases. So the next phase after the summoning phase is usually called the battle phase. Now during the battle phase, you want to move your card that's in the unit zone to the battle zone to let your opponent know, okay, I'm going to attack. Now each unit has a placement in the battle zone. So for instance, I'm going to place this card in the battle zone. Now notice I placed it all the way to my right, and if I was on the other side, it would be all the way to the right again. So placing a card to your right in the battle zone is how you place your cards. You never really place them to the left, or you place them as far right as possible and as many as you want in the battle zone. Right now, I am attacking with this card, so I'm going to turn it left to signal that I am attacking. And then I am defending with this card, so I'm going to turn it to signal that I am defending. What are you defending, you might say? I am defending the shield and integrity zone. Unless a card says otherwise and there are no cards in the battle zone to defend any attack, will automatically go towards a shield card. If there are no more shield cards or the card does not specifically say so, you can attack the integrity. And once again, once all of the integrity cards in the zone are gone, that's it. Game over. You can have 10 shield cards, and as soon as your integrity cards are gone, that's it. Game over. You're done. Shield cards in the shield zone does not mean that the game continues. Integrity zone is the thing that determines whether a player is still able to battle on. Okay, moving on. During the battle phase and you're attacking, you're going to put your strike power, which is the S surrounded by crimson, against your opponent's E power, which is the E surrounded by the blue. So my E is 1,000, and my opponent's strike power is 650. However, during a battle phase, like I said before, you can play a card into your quick zone. So I'm going to put this Cone of Breath, which doubles my striking power. So let's see. My striking power is 650. Double at 650 to make 1,300. Just enough to get past the endurance of this card. Now that the endurance of this card has gotten past, I get to take a toughness point, which is this little thing right there in the left hand side, those little blue things on the left hand side. I get to take away one of those. Now, on this specific system, I recommend that you use either the tokens or the dice as representations of their toughness. The dice is good because you can actually, so I'm going to put this right here under this so that you know that it's related to that. I'm going to tap on it and see over here in the left hand side, you can go up and down. So it started off with 4, now it's 3. Bam. And this one also has a toughness of 3. So we're going to give him one as well. Bam. This is something that you can do, in the beginning. As soon as you put a card out, you can, summon your dice, put your card out, and then under it or near it so that we know that that's the card it's for. You can put the little dice, wherever you want. Now, after that's done, I'm going to turn it back the way it's supposed to be. Put it back right there. Turn her back the way she's supposed to be. And put her right here. Okay. So that is a basic battle phase. Now, after the battle phase is finished, we're at the end phase. During your end phase, as long as a unit has not entered the battle zone or defended against an attack in the battle zone or made any action in the reinforcement zone, you can move that unit. So, for instance, I never did anything with this card right here. So, if it was my turn and I was in my end phase, I will be able to move this to my reinforcement zone and my end phase. But, it's still their turn. So, in my end phase, I'm going to set this card secretly, because he's never going to know what the fuck that card is, even though he's me. And that's what I'm going to do. And then I'm going to end my phase. So, now it's on me, and I'm going to draw a card for my draw phase. And what do we have here? We have an equip card. The crystalline sword. Yeah, baby. Yeah, boy. So, let's take a gander at my face down card again, which is, okay, I have a buffer. Okay. So, that's what that card can do. I'm going to move my card. Let's put the hand down to my reinforcement zone, because I already have a card right there. And I'm going to give it a dice. Make sure that number is right. Number 4. I'll give it a dice. And then I am going to go back to my hand. I'm taking my crystallines. And look at this. This card can be used by units with the name of which I have. And these units are good. I could have used that a phase ago. Only use with the name. You can use any card effect targeting these units. Yes, I am going to use this card. And I'm going to put it in my quick zone. And it is now attached to that card. I'm gonna leave it like that so you can know that it's attached to that card. I am also going to I'm not going to use that card because, like I said, I don't have my rules specific just yet. And that seems like something I need to iron out. And then, seeing that I have no other option, I'm going to switch to battle phase. So, now that we're in battle phase, I'm going to put this right here. And then he's going to defend with this right here. Like I said, to represent an attack, I'm going to turn it. This is the card I am attacking with. And then this is the card he's defending with. Okay. Now his endurance is 500, while my attack is 900. So obviously I got through. And that does nothing. So we're going to go to our dice and we're going to take it down by 1. So he has 2 now. And then we're going to turn him back to normal. Okay, he's normal now. Turn her back to normal. That's normal now. And okay, there we have it. I have done 2 phases of battle. Hopefully I didn't confuse anybody about the ins and outs of the game. And I will continue with another lesson after I have proceeded with more games. Have a great night.